Hello everyone, and sorry for the late upload. We're going to be talking about section 18.3 today on substituted hydrocarbons, and it is going to be interesting. Now, remember substitute hydrocarbons. A substitute is something that comes in place of what's normally there. And so typically, if you have a hydrocarbon, and let's say you're dealing with a regular old hydrocarbon. This is just hydrogen, 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens. A substituted one would be taking this hydrogen, which would normally be here, and placing something else where it should be hydrogen. So for instance, a very basic substitute hydrocarbon is alcohol. Now, I say that and some people kind of get scared, but alcohol simply means it has an OH group in it. That means instead of a hydrogen, it has an oxygen and a hydrogen. And these make chemical changes to the hydrocarbon, and not all alcohol is necessarily bad. For instance, you've probably used a lot of it recently, of ethyl alcohol, because hand sanitizer is made of about 66 to 70% ethyl alcohol. And it takes ethane and makes it into alcohol, adds an OH, and it cleans things. It's a good thing. And so let's talk about substituted hydrocarbon. Substituted hydrocarbon is a hydrocarbon with one or more hydrogens substituted out. A functional group is very similar. Functional group is that substitute itself. So the entire hydrocarbon is called a substituted hydrocarbon. The functional group is what's placed in for the hydrogen. So in this case, this whole thing would be the substitute hydrocarbon, but this here would be the functional group, where there's something different about it. So these are the hydrogens. This, I'm assuming they want it to be like fluorine or something. It's a group of atoms capable of replacing a hydrogen. There's a couple of unique ones out there. The first one is alcohol. Don't get too scared. Alcohol is just an OH group. It's called a hydroxyl group. That's the chemical name for it. And you might remember, as we began talking about at the beginning of the year, hydroxide is OH. Well, when it deals with a hydrocarbon, it's called a hydroxyl. And alcohols are named because of their OL suffix. So methanol is methane with a hydroxyl group. You can see methane normally has 4 hydrogens, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, it's replaced with an oxygen and hydrogen. It would be CH4O, and that would be methanol, wood alcohol. Sorry, I had to cancel the video for a second because I got a call. Anyway, we're back with aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes end in aldehyde, not very complex. Aldehydes are used as preservatives, like formaldehyde. So formaldehyde is used a lot in the bio and chem labs to keep and preserve organisms that are dead. And it's actually a pretty simple molecule. And so this R down here, R means just about anything in chemistry. In this case, it means a whole bunch of hydrocarbons. And then you have a carbon double bonded to an oxygen with a hydrogen. That makes it an aldehyde, the functional group COH. Ketone is pretty similar. Ends in TONE, tone. And they have a very similar functional group. You have a double bond to an oxygen, except this hydrogen here is replaced with anything that's not hydrogen. So it can be replaced with a carbon, with a fluorine, with just about anything. So acetone. Acetone is very common. Ladies would know what acetone is more than men would, because acetone is nail polish remover. And so if we look on Google here at acetone, and we can go to Wikipedia, we can see here its chemical formula CH3, 2 sets of them with a CO. And we can see chemically you have this hydrocarbon bonded to a carbon, double bonded to an oxygen with this R group. And this R group actually happens to be another portion of the hydrocarbon. So it's just a double bond to an oxygen. And that is the way acetone appears. Kind of cool. And let's move on to a carboxyl acid or carboxylic acid. And this is a weak acid with a very pungent odor. An example of this is vinegar. I hate the smell of vinegar. But vinegar is a weak acid with a very pungent odor. And it is that way because you have a COOH group. This is different from the previous slide where we had aldehydes and ketones. You can see that this was a double bond to an oxygen with a hydrogen. This is a double bond to an oxygen with an oxygen hydrogen. So it has a double bond to an oxygen with this alcohol group. And these end in OIC. So ethonic acid is something that is found in vinegar, which makes it have this pungent acidic odor. So you have ethanol. Ethane. Ethane is 2 carbons, and it, instead of it being ethanol with just 1 alcohol group, it has COOH, making it ethonic acid, or in this case, vinegar. Haloalkanes replace a hydrogen with any one of the halogens. And so here are 3 hydrogens. This is some sort of halogen. So usually we name them with the prefix like fluoro, chloro, bromo, iodo, and the numerical number of replacements. So in this case, if this was replaced with chlorine, we would call this tetrachloromethane. That's a huge word. That means there's 4, or tetra, chlorines. And of course, chloro means chlorine, and methane means 1 carbon. And this would be just, if this was a fluorine, this would just be fluoromethane, 1 fluorine with a methane. So anyway, that's not too bad. Esters. Esters are COOR, where the R is anything that fits. These look very, very similar to what we were talking about with vinegar, the carboxyl or carboxylic acid groups. If you remember, it was COOH with a O, O, and an H. In an ester's case, it's an O, O. Corona. Watch out. And in this case, it's an O, O, and an R, where you have anything but a hydrogen there, because a hydrogen there would be the carboxylic group, but the R indicates there's something else. Esterification is a reaction between our carboxyl or carboxylic acid and alcohol. Produces an ester. Most of these esters have unique smells and are fruity odors. So what you get is, in a lot of these esters, the odors which smell like fruits. So an orange's odor is called octyl acetate. So this is an ester that gives off the orange smell. So I may have mentioned before in a previous video, I'm not certain, but if you have like a Smensel, one of those pens that smell, they're not rubbing it all over oranges. They're just producing the chemical ester and letting it sit in the room with that ester until it permeates through the wood. Amines. An amine uses a nitrogen compound. Here's a hydrocarbon with an N with 2 H's on it. That makes the N have 3 bonds, which it needs because nitrogen has 5, needs 3 to get 8 bonds to fill the octet role. Amines are highly influential molecules. Caffeine is an amine. It's a hydrocarbon with a NH2. We can look at caffeine's, Safari. We can look at caffeine's chemical formula, and you can see it actually has 4 nitrogens, and these are in the form of amines. And so it's 4 times the amount of influential. You can see someone who hasn't had their coffee in the morning, they're crabby. Another thing that ends in -ine, nicotine, very influential, takes over the brain. And there are a lot of drugs that are related to INE. You can look those up if you'd like. A lot of benzos, if you've heard of those, they are sometimes recreational drugs, sometimes prescribed for anxiety and just to feel better about yourself. A lot of those are amines too, and they just take control of the body. Amides is slightly different than amines, except it's an amine placed where a carboxylic acid is supposed to be. Key thing here, an amide. Key thing here, many are pain relievers, such as acetaminophen, penicillin, phenobarbital, which is a prescription painkiller. And so these are very similar. I'm actually not going to have you on the test differentiate between amines and amides, because it's very hard to tell unless you're a chemist who would know, oh, this is supposed to be our carboxyl group, but it's not. So even I can't tell very, very well anymore, at least, because I haven't been in organic chemistry in years. So anyways, you're just going to look at that and say, oh, that's an amine or an amide. It just depends. And that's the end of the video. So make sure you do section review 18.3, page 332. We're going to talk about polymer chemistry tomorrow in 18.4. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you found this helpful. I would definitely recommend, maybe at the bottom of your notes or on a separate sheet of paper, drawing out some examples of these just to aid in your recognition. And here's why. It's because on your organic chemistry test, I'm going to have, I'm showing you your test before, it's open book, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to have some identification section. And so you take a look at this and you're like, oh, this is an OH. And so you're like, what hydrocarbon, what substitute hydrocarbon has an OH on it? Well, it's an alcohol. Or in this case, which one has a NH2? Well, we actually just talked about that. So you should be able to recognize those by the end of this. Well, anyway, I've already talked too long. I'll see you guys later.